Hello guys, welcome to the new patch analyze. This is gonna be 4.9.1. It's gonna hit in 2nd February and I'm joined with Patrick, aka GODISNOTDEAD. What's up, bro?
Oh man, doing good, man. We have a new patch here incoming, and I'm looking forward to talk with this with you and to the viewers here.
Sweet, so let's just straight go to it. So we have a new avatar going as the Behemoth. That's nice to see more avatars in the game. Empath and Rhapsody, the China one will be models when will be now free. That's nice. Let's go to the design as we see. Straight to stuff buffs and changes. So Blacksmith got nerfs last patch, now they just adjust it a little bit, they give him more power. So max of mana will be better right now, and actually his all auto attack mechanic will be better. 5% more, I like this change, it's nice buff a little bit. Flint, basically visuals, as you can see, that's fine. Same as Monkey King looks like, visuals also. Puppet Master getting a little bit nerfed because Puppet will have big changes this patch, so we will see about that later on. So also visuals, as you can see. Witcher, I don't get why they buff it again a little bit. But it's a little bit of damage, so it's fine. Even though the Witcher will get tons buff this patch, which I don't understand why, but let's jump into it later on. So as cosmetic updates, we going back to what we had, like snow and stuff is over. That's basically all of that. The more gold and more silver you was able to gift and stuff, it's basically over. The UI is going back. I hope they will change something in the map overall and not just bring it back, as you can see to the patch 4.9.0. I feel like we need something fresh in the map. Maybe, I don't know, go back to one Conqueror for a while. Just give us more options in the game. That would be nice. At least that's what I feel. What do you think about it?
I really would like to see some major changes in the map because overall the game has been stable for the last couple of years with a lot of changing here and there, but at this point, taking a big risk like changing the Congo to one Congo is really not, in my opinion, is a good strategy because I like the new Congors, I like the two Congors buffs. I like the new rotations we have been seeing because of the two Congors. The one Congor, it's not good in my opinion, but we should definitely see some changes, maybe some road changes, some river across the middle of the map, some maybe a little bit of rune spot difference places. We should, or maybe even a new rune. Like just we got the instead of the refreshment rune, we got the one that gave us the gold plus the full bottle. That was a good one, a good rune. But we need something fresh like that. Even a new item would be really appreciated.
I agree with you on that. So the user interface. So now the region that you was selected all of them when you start to play. Now you will need to choose one only before you start the queue. Basically, that's what it says. And I think it's really good because there is a lot of mistakes that, oh damn it, I went to play UK and I forget to change it before and I want to play on Europe. So this change would have been like as the game started, I feel like should have been, but it's good they finally pay attention to this. So this buff this for this sentence. Okay, so now we're going for the Conquer buff reward, movement speed reward bonus. Okay, they changing the speed to 12. Uh, Finally, they actually changing something in the Conquer buff. I feel like it's a fine tweak, like a little bit of an error for the speed. It's fine. Uh,
Yeah, it's not big of a deal in my opinion. It's
yeah,
just 3 movement speed per charge. Like if you get five Congors, you get -50 movement speed now, but that's five Congors.
yeah, I agree with you. So natural camps slightly reduce the creep max travel distance of the leftmost legion side is a camp, so they won't like traveling more, so it's fine. And this is a big one as I see in a competitive more scene. The Werby's creep for giving you sight inside the teamfights. reducing this sight to by 600, I think it was needed. It gives so much sight in teamfights to those who use it. So this is a big nerf, but at the same time, it will be balanced. It will be still used in higher competitive games. So we have ranked pick. And now banning will be increased by 10% to half a minute of thinking the ban. I feel like it is needed sometimes. Sometimes you want to actually check the other team. You want to be more competitive in some games than the others. And I think it's a good strategy overall. And the wait time is reduced by 2 seconds. Also, it's fine not to burn time. I mean, 2 seconds only, but still. Matchmaking, so player color is now fully randomized. It basically means that the pink won't be the first highest player in the game. So let's say you're pink, so most of the other team will check your heroes and they will ban it. So now you may be in the middle, you can be other color, and it will make more sort of not confuse, more of like look for other players also, not only the top player on the team. So I like this change a lot. And general range creep, aggro range reduce by 50. It's okay. I mean, it says it's a buff. I don't know how it's a buff. It seems like a nerf, to be honest, but it's not a big deal. Only 50. Okay, go ahead. Go for adrenaline. A big change.
We have another rework, or probably like some big changes from Adrenaline again, since the last patch, the rework didn't actually shows its best benefit for the hero. So here we go. We have primary attribute change from agility to strength. So now Adrenaline is a hero, as a strength hero, so he supposedly will be able to survive more, to be able to tank more. So we have a base armor increase from 2.36 to 3. That's a lot of armor early stage lane phase. Base strength increased from 20 to 24. Strength growth per level increased from 2 to 2.5, but base agility reduced from 24 to 18. Agility growth per level reduced from 2.4 to 1.6, and base intelligence increased from 18 to 20, and the growth is from 1.5 to 1.8. So typically, which makes sense when you change a hero's type from agility to strength, the amount of agility you're gonna get per level and the base agility you're gonna get is gonna be lower, but they buffed the intelligence of Adrenaline, so he's gonna have more mana and more mana pool and mana regeneration passively. So now we have the shared blast. Bonus damage is now based on strength instead of agility, which makes sense due to the change. Mana cost reduced from 80, 90, 100, 110 to 55, 70, 85, and 100. That's a really good change. Like as I mentioned earlier in the last patch analysis, that Adrenaline is a hero that needed a lot of mana, and if he uses 3 or 4 skills, he's out of mana instantly in the early phase. This is a good, like especially the level 1 from 80 to 55. It's a really good buff in my opinion. We have the base magic damage increased from 80, 150, 150, 185 to 200 at max level. Uh, it's good. It's a good buff. Bonus magic damage based on your primary attribute increased from 20, 30, 40, 50% to 30, 40, 58, 60%. More damage on the strength based. Touch radius increased from 90 to 100, 120 on tooltip for cast indicator accuracy. Alright. Cooldown is now reduced to 0.5 from 0.6 when hitting 2 or more enemy heroes in this ability. So overall, this ability has been got more damage, plus the damage based on your strength, plus a bit of 0.1 cooldown reduction. Now, Rush. We have the second skill here. Now behaves like a regular dash charge with pathing, does not force the destination to be at the very end like Dark Lady's charging strike. So, does it feel like you actually can charge where you want, not where you insta click? That's really good. No longer cuts trees along its path. Oh, that's really interesting. So you can't just do it whenever you want. You're like a Dark Lady. You can't just cut trees. All right, this is gonna be interesting. It's just gonna be like normal movement speed without being able to cut trees. If you have like a golden veil or something, you can't annoy him in that part. Cooldown reduced from 14, 13, 12, 11 to maximum of 10 seconds, a little bit of cooldown reduction. and the range we have range from 700 to 800 at maximum level, but level 1, 2 are gonna be less than the old one. No longer as a Dread Strike mechanic. Alright, so we have no Dread Strike mechanic that comes with charges with hitting the hero or using spells. Alright. Magic damage changed from 20 plus 10 magic damage per Dread Strike consumed to 80, 120, 160, 200 plus maximum 60% of your strength. That's a whole that's a whole new primary like damage here. Instead of the dress stack, it has been removed completely from this ability, and now you deal plus damage of how much strength you have. Really interesting. Ember Shard. Tether duration changed from 1.8 to maximum 3 seconds to 2 to maximum 3.5 seconds. Bit of buff overall. Self-estate duration increased from 4 to 8 seconds. That's double the time. Now refresh attack cooldown on cast. So when you cast it, it's like old Doctor Repulsor because before he got nerfed. So now if you use it, you get another attack. Enemies now also receive a 25% movement speed slow in addition to being restrained after being pulled. Alright, so now after pulling them, you're gonna give them movement. This is some really nasty buffs overall.
Yeah.
Restrain movement speed slow state duration change from 1 second to a maximum of 2 seconds. Fair enough.
This is
That's hello. Yeah, this is really strong on paper. Like I'm gonna actually maybe try to play the hero.
It seems like they buff his damage, they buff his strength, like in turn of tankiness. They give him a lot of more easier to play as they remove the dread stack mechanic. So now you don't really need to. Oh, he have 2, he have 3, he 4. I just go for it. You just make damage. You're gonna play Adrenaline more easier right now, and also the dash, which is the rush, will be easier to control. So this is drastic changes, and for the Death Hallow, as you can see, like you can read if you want.
Duration is reduced by 1 second when Adrenaline receives cumulative damage equal to 25% of his maximum HP from 20%. Another buff here. No longer grants an agility bonus per real hero trapped. Not a big deal. And now grants 4, 6, 8 bonus strength, 2 bonus attack damage, and 1 hero trapped. And times 2 for enemy heroes. So you get, if I'm not mistaken, if you have your own allies in it, you get +4, +2, and +1 armor, and you have enemies in it too, you get double that benefits. That's a lot.
It's gonna be
But
really hard to kill him inside actually the Death Hallow right now. They basically made him. He was not squishy. I'm not gonna say squishy. It's not a possibility in Death Hallow. He had a lot, but now he is even killable in this. Like you can go for tanky route with the chalice only, like Shaman's Helm, who will touch you like at minute 10, which these items are like you go middle, you can get him easily. He's gonna be super strong.
and now he has magic armor bonus per year hero code increased from 1 to 1.5. Alright, this is the first time I think Adrenaline is going through the right path. Like analysis that the reworks are not gonna work and they didn't. But I think this one is gonna be really interesting. I might actually start playing this hero if it doesn't get nerfed again. Okay, now overall, good buffs, a lot of strength, a lot of survivability, a lot of mana pool, cooldown reduction, damage buff. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I
So,
agree with you. It's gonna be really strong.
now going for Armadon, we have Spine Burst damage. When taking damage to the rear reduced from 150 to 130. I think it's Armadon's strong when he turns his back on you. Artillery alarm now deals 0.8 damage to non-hero units. Okay, a little bit nerf for the jungling potential, but still it's gonna be good. Like I thought artillery is gonna get touched way more and nerfed, but not really because he actually isn't that overpowered. He has a lot of damage, but he still dies easily.
The point is I wanna mention artillery become so OP to most of the people not because of the damage he deals. They didn't buff his damage. The buff is slow. The slow should have been touch, I feel like, because you cannot escape the LRM anymore that much as before, so it means he hit you more. So only with Ghost Marchers and Beckler, or I don't know, like one or two items, he can dominate and do so much damage. Only because of the slow, not because of his damage. So maybe they need to adjust something about the slow a little bit, tweak a little bit slower, like to make it lower. Because at the moment artillery is really strong in the meta.
You have a point there. I don't see like if the slow is gonna be nerf, he's not gonna hit his all around a lot, which makes him weak. But so if we get like 5%, a little bit less slow, yeah, that could work.
Yeah,
But
because
still,
the point I'm trying to say is if you talented and you're gonna hit all LRM, I'm not talking about slow right now, only to hit LRM, then you did a lot of damage. If you don't hit, you did less damage, which means you're less talented with the hero, which is completely fine. This is skill based. But when you buff the slow that much that even it's so easy to hit, even for less skilled player, the hero will be strong in the lower even brackets and even for the lower players. So they're making the game easier in terms of these heroes that are harder to control, which I agree and don't agree with, because it depends if there is a lot of new players coming in. As you can see, Adrenaline also, he was hard to use. Now it's gonna be easier. I'm not saying he will be easy, but easier, yeah.
easy, but
So
Adrenaline still requires a lot
of course.
skills.
Yeah. I'm not saying not. I'm just saying easier. So they're trying to make the game a little bit easier.
Like before, he wasn't even playable, Adrenaline.
Yeah,
Now he's playable.
I agree.
Like if they see it's gonna be overpowered, they're gonna nerf him a bit.
I
But
agree with you totally. Okay, let's move on.
alright, on Calamity, we have the magic damage per dragon reduced from 95 to 90 on max level. A little bit of nerf to the dragons, that's cool. Funeral Pyre agility gain state of stealth duration reduced from 1.75 to 1.25, the original state duration. And damage dealt by the extra attack instance now deals 80% instead of 100%. A little bit of nerfs for Calamity, which is needed in my opinion. We have seen it a little bit overperforming in laning phases, in tournaments, in ITMM. Calamity has been a really pain to any laning hero.
I agree
All
with
right.
you. It won't kill the hero. I feel like it will be then balanced.
It's a little bit. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. It's barely like it's 5 damage at max level on the first on the dragons, and it's 0.5.
I
It's gonna
feel
be a
yeah.
little bit annoying, but it's gonna be fine. She needed that.
Yes.
Now Defiler, the ultimate Unholy Expulsion, Spirit movement speed and maximum movement speed increased from 455 to 650. I agree on that because the ulti was a little bit useless if you try to chase someone because they're gonna be really slow. All of that, if the fire is not being picked, this might actually help her be performing more, showing her possible outcome as a really hero. Draconis, base movement speed reduced from 300 to 290. Alright, Draconis actually needed that early nerf because he's really a mobile hero due to his spells and his ultimate plus his W. I like this. Draconis defense cooldown increased from 45 at max level to 60 seconds. Really good nerf. And the base physical damage per second changed from 24 to 20. Alright, these are really good tweaks for Draconis, but he's still gonna be strong. He's still gonna be strong. Cooldown is
Yeah.
not gonna we have only one damage reduction on the hero. We have more cooldown, less movement speed, less mobility, but the damage is still the same. Instead, they just nerfed this a bit.
They nerfed his actually start, let's say it that way. Also, I want to remind you that if you ulti the Volcano, the Draconis defense is gonna reset. So that they make these changes of his cooldown be higher, it means he won't travel lanes more in the late game. So it's a great change for my opinion. Still, Draconis will be strong. I mean, it's Draconis, you know. He's been there forever, strong. I don't feel like these tweaks will do him bad.
Yeah.
There goes your
It's not gonna
favorite
do him
hero.
anything. It's not gonna do him anything, in my opinion.
There's your
Drunken
drunken.
Master again. As I said, last bet, it's not gonna be good enough. His agility increased from 12 to 14. Okay, ability drink. What do we have? Max charge is increased from 40 at max level to 45. Alright. Total max evasion and stun buff duration reduction increased from 40 to 45%. In addition to existing bonuses, each drink charge now also grants a 1.5% chance to critically strike for the 1.5 attack damage. Healing from the natural expiration of drunk charge increased from 6 to 7 health. Uh, he's still not gonna be playable, in my opinion.
I
3
think
point strike.
it's a nice tweak.
His ulti got nerfed now. Physical damage reduced from 600 to 500 in max. Like, they're
Yeah,
really trying to do something with Drunken, but just bring him to the old one I used to play, and it's gonna be just fine.
yeah. When you just ultimate, you have cooldown 60 seconds. He become like a berserker. That was fine. I don't know.
That's fine. He had free nullstone for a small amount of time. Just bring the old Drunken and everyone will play him. Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I agree.
Alright, Fate. Reflection now reduces the target's healing received and health regeneration by 60% for a second.
It's
Right?
the ulti.
I know it's the ulti, like, okay, it's gonna be fine against Solomon and stuff, but it's not
Yeah,
gonna make
I mean, I see this change good because when you ulti, people can still use Astro, they can still use Bottle, they can still use anything, you know? So it's kinda helpful overall, and Shamans is really hitting that ulti hard, so the ulti is strong for being like a scout, you like scouting and stuff, but the damage output is really low. So now it's like a little bit more buff to that, so I like that.
still Fate is still not gonna be playable in tournaments or in high TMM. You never see a Fate player.
Mm,
You
yes, I
don't.
know,
You're not.
depends. Yeah,
You're not.
he's not there on the sweet spot of being picked first or being like banned ever, but at the same time he's not a bad hero if you think of it.
Well, for the same farm, I would pick any other mid hero instead of Fate.
Yeah, but maybe for long like Fade the Luna, you know, these two heroes combine really good.
Like, the only way you could go with Fate is when you go tri lane on a long lane, when you have another stunner, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
might be able to use
I agree with you on that part.
Golden Veil, Perch and Plunge. While Perch on a tree, Perch no longer counts as an ability cast for certain sources like Power Supply. This chance is more of a bug face.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
fine.
mean, why would you able to use power supply when you're on the tree?
Icor, Transfusion magic to superior magic. Finally, thank you. This allows Iker to properly latch on into allies and enemies that have magic immunity. Thank you. Like, it's like when Jirazaya used to not be able to shield you when you have shrunken on. This is the same thing with Iker. He can just still jumps you and take the damage from you when you're using your shrunken head, or still jump on an enemy hero. Okay, jumping on enemy hero might be a little bit stronger, really strong, but they can make it on only allies.
Yeah.
And the enemy is why I don't know. Like, Keeper of the Forest. Nature's Guidance. Camouflage will now only apply its true state on enemies when attacking out of stealth if the attacker is a non-illusion Keeper of the Forest hero. Example, the minions or other ally heroes. Alright, it's nothing important. The root duration reduced from 2.4 to 1.8 seconds. Okay, that's some nerf. The ulti hasn't
Yeah,
been touched,
it's
but
been like so strong, so yeah, they want this. They buff it a lot, so now they want it to be like.
yeah, it's fine. I don't play
Yeah.
Keeper myself, but it's really good. I like them. Kraken base intelligence increased from 16 to 18. Turn rate increased from 360 to 700 degree per second. Thank you. When I ever try to peek and charge someone and try to hit them, it takes forever to turn. It's gonna be really good. Kraken is this change alone is gonna make the hero really, really, really good. Trust me for that.
Yeah, I
Tsunami
agree.
charge.
It will make the hero smooth. Let's call it that way.
Yeah. Tsunami charge. Travel speed increased from 850 to 1000 units per second. It's really good buffs on Kraken. One of the best buffs in this patch, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Monkey King. Strength growth per level increased from 1.7 to 2. 3 point. Why? Why?
Yeah, I don't know
Monkey
why.
has been strong already. A small survivability buff to Monkey King to keep up with the meta? What?
Mm,
I disagree.
I think Monkey was just fine, even too strong.
He was strong, not fine. He's one of the strong heroes.
And this is because of last patch, they made him be so fast with his abilities, so I don't get why they need to buff him even more. Like,
Or
strength per level, even more and more armor. It seems like on paper little, but it's a big.
it's get like plus 10, plus 15 strength for free.
Yeah.
Moonqueen, multi-strike, bounce radius increased from 450 to 500, not a big deal. Lunar Claw, Moonqueen receives 1.5 the damage bonus from this ability. I agree. Moonqueen has not been picked up a lot lately, like, as they even say, Moonqueen currently does not have a good enough reason to be picked over Forsaken Archer at the moment. That's true, actually.
Yeah.
It's really good buff. I like it.
Yeah, me
More
too.
axes. More axes. More axes with more axes. See what did I do?
Yeah.
Cooldown increased from 1.25 to 1.5 seconds. Really agree because he has more axes. The cooldown increase is really good. Like it.
Yeah, it's back to what it was, actually.
Yeah. Ballistic. Nitro. Mana cost reduced from 15 to 12. Blast off. Mana cost reduced from 130 to 125. This is not what Nitro needed. Nitro is gonna be still not playable at the moment. Or not picked. Not He's playable, but he's not strong. Nomad. Alright. I love this. Strength growth per level increased from 1.8 to 2, agility increased from 2.8 to 3, and intelligence increased from 2.2. Edge counter on expiration now grants 30% damage reduction for the next 5 seconds. Edge counter, isn't this his passive? Or his E?
Let's see.
It's E when he. Okay. I like it.
Yeah,
I
it's
like it.
really good buffs for Nomad. He's not been picked as much.
Yeah,
It
I
might.
really love him, but I
I
don't
wanna
pick him
try
because
him.
yeah, he's really like squishy, and even if you get items on him, you're still squishy. I like
Yeah.
this.
Now he will get more stats, more armor because of the more agility per level, more strength per level, which means more HP, and intelligence for more spammy. That's really nice changes.
Now, Mr. Kraken, go for Ophelia, one of your
Yeah,
best heroes.
best heroes that I never play. So
Like,
we have a Nature Worth. So basically they trying to make Ophelia good but not broken, in their opinion at least, because Ophelia is being picked for few people. So I feel like the community that plays Ophelia are known for playing Ophelia. Period. Like these changes, it's basically duration of the spell to be 1 second less, 200 less cast range. Also for command, the cast range will be 300 less, and the cooldown will increase almost by twice. But it's still Ophelia will still viable. Ophelia has her niche, sorry, and she's a strong hero overall. So if you know to play Ophelia, it will be suffer to see these changes, but at the same time, the hero is still viable. Coming up next, we have Puppet, which I told you before. This is needed and not needed. I don't know how to address this as they touch in Puppet a lot lately. So, movement speed -5. I mean, you go Ghost Smasher, so it's fine. And Whiplash, so no longer gives more attack speed, which is nice, but they added to the ulti, which is more reasonable. So Voodoo Puppet. So now Voodoo Puppet max health has been increased a little bit by 100 in last level, and the multiplier reduced a little bit to 130 in max level, so it means you deal less damage, but at the same time they reduce the cooldown of the ability a little bit, so 10 seconds less in the last level. And the big one is that they increase 500 range of the puppet to actually exist. So if you're trying to escape, you will have as puppet more time to kill the puppet as the enemy is escaping, which I really like. For puppet is really good as you see all these actually nerfs. So this is like kinda balance it. And the attack speed they remove from his E is gonna be here. So only at level 16 you will have this attack speed, as you could have like at level 7, you max your E, you get so much attack speed, you have Elder, and you basically kill everybody at level 7 only with the Elder without anything else, not even Invis. Ghostmacher Elder was insane on Puppet. He could kill anybody. You just Puppet Show with the Voodoo Puppet and someone is dead with the Elder. So I really
yeah,
like it.
but I still see this as a buff.
Yeah,
I still see it
I
as a
see it
buff.
as
It's
a
not a nerf.
balance. I see it as a balance because Elder is being touched, so we will go for that. So Puppet is being balanced. I don't feel like it's a big nerfs. It's more of a balance stuff to him. Coming up next, Rhapsody needed nerfs definitely. So performing well. So now the heal will be a little bit less by 5 in the last level, and the healing per second to allies will be less by 6. Still will be picked. The dance is amazing. I love this change on Rhapsody that makes the hero really strong. Not even kidding, one of the best support right now, if not the best, because of you have stun, you have heal, you have ulti to protect everybody. You have basically everything. So Rhapsody is really good hero at the moment. Okay, this is an interesting one. So Shadowblade's been touched again. They're trying to find his sweet spot, let's say. So now they even more giving him more stats by 0.3 per level, which I don't know. I guess needed and not needed because he's pretty tanky at some point, but depends on the game. So now his Gruntorn's Blast no longer change base attack time, so they reverted to what it was, I think, right? And his W will be apply against enemy non-player controlled units with the 0.5 multiplier, the original values. I don't really get like what is non-player controlled. I mean units.
If you jump on on an ancient or something, you used to steal his damage, like
Oh, I see.
damage. Now I think you steal half of the damage of the ancient you jump.
I see. Okay, so this is a fine. This is looks like a nerf, but this is just balance. I feel like. So here is the big buff that is really interesting. So his E, the soul sight. So first attack against an enemy hero is from deals a bonus. So for more damage you get as the form, you also receive 20, 30, 40, 50 the first attack, and also it applies a stun of 0.9 up to 1.2. I feel like I don't know if it was necessary to give him a stun effect and the magic damage buff, maybe one of the two, not both, because it seems so strong on paper, but maybe he needs that to, I don't know, to shut down someone. I mean, you jump with your W, you can just use your E. You don't gonna use your Q unless you're going for a strength build. I mean, now he will be picked more as agility int rather than going for the strength tanky, because now you don't have the base attack time as your Q. So yeah, I feel like this is the case. He will be more glass cannon instead of a tanky.
Actually, like it.
Yeah, nice buffs. Overall, I feel like he will be more picked. So Shell Shock, now you have delay between canceling your roll, and I like it because I played Shell Shock and you just WWW and then suddenly like cancels after they did a great buff to make you able to cancel it. Really like it. Sakabu's getting balance sort of, so at first you will be on the 530 of the range for the sleep, but in the end you will have 25 more. Nice change overall, but at the same time you can just in the end go for Jade Spire and just make like, sleep someone and ulti another, because with Jade you have a lot of more space to actually have a better position. So you just like stand in between two heroes and you don't need to chase people down. So I like this overall. For the later of the game, and for the early game, it's nice, it's fine. Warbeast, so his creeps return. I'm sorry, return. Getting buff, so their speed will be added 100, which is a big. Like you have a Minotaur, the chasing something, 650 speed in later of the game, it's needed. Because later of the game you have the Conquer buffs, even though they got changed and a little bit less to give. Most of heroes got Geo. I mean, it's hard to chase people with Warbeast and later of the game, so I like this. I mean, for creeps, not for the Warbeast itself. Oh, Whistler. So this is what I don't like about this patch actually, because it's too much for my opinion at least. So he gonna have 5 more movement speed. That is completely fine. More intelligence, it means more damage, more mana pool, and the growth. Even though it's gonna be less, so he gonna perform better at the earlier of the game, and his attack speed, projectile speed, is increased by 200. This is completely fine. And the power drain is gonna be like 8 seconds in the later of the game and 17. So you can spam it more in the early game, and he can be annoying and drain mana. So you can actually get like 2 on that in 14 seconds, and in fact as a support, it's really strong. And the silver brute is getting sort of balanced, but later of the game 950. It's kinda a lot. Like silver bullet has been strong. I mean, look, 750 is not touched, but they just bring him, tweak him like to 550, but it's still strong. It's not like that weak. Also, he's gonna have a bigger mana pool, so maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it was needed this change, but overall it's buffs.
I like it. I like this buff on Whistler.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm wrong with them going too hard of him, like, but maybe it was needed. So Exemplar, he was actually disabled most of the last patch because of his bug, so they fix it. The wall is no longer double damage, and now the illusions increase from 900 to 120, 1200, sorry. So the field trigger radius. So this is nice buff. It's both for his Q and for the wall also. So that's nice. They will just go with you, most of it, what it means, the trigger. So this is a nice buff. Zephyr actually getting a little bit of a nerf for the melee. So evasion mechanic from this ability now only function against ranged attackers, which means if you are melee and you struggle to hit Zephyr, I really like this. Like this is needed.
Yeah.
Zephyr is like so weird to actually hit him when you're a melee. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. You don't know where to hit. Sometimes you need to go from the left, sometimes from the right as the shield is moving and Zephyr is moving. So I like this. Easier to play against, let's say that way. So items, we have Barb being touched again, so now the duration will be 4 seconds instead of 5, and the return damage, as it was before, that was like the type that ignores armor. Even if you have armor, it won't affect you, but the hero takes damage as you don't have the armor. Let's put it that way. So now the type is the same as his Receive-It. So if he gets 400 magic damage, so this is what he will do. But the buff is here that it's gonna be 80% instead of 65, which is kinda feels balance on damage, because before it was a 65 a lot of damage. Let's say Legionnaire jumps you, taunts you with a barb. It was disaster for you. You was dead most of the times if he can ult you. And the cooldown is increased by 10, which is okay. I feel like Barb is balanced right now. First, it seemed like a big buff, but I think it's balanced.
It's really good. I liked it. I like this change.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna return to what it was most of the time if you look at this, but we will see in actual games. Sorry for that. So Elder is getting a nerf as expected. So the damage bonus is been 0 to by 5. Damage amplifier for damage received when the state is activated is increased to 15 by 3%. And the passive bonus damage is reduced by 5. And the gold is increased by 200 overall. So it won't kill the item, but now it's not as OP, let's say, as it was. It still will be picked as the helm it was touched. So pretty much reasonable nerfs, I feel like. And Puppet now with the Elder Parasite won't be as strong as he was.
Yeah, at this point, like Elder Parasite is not gonna be picked. I mean, it's gonna be picked, but myself, I'm not gonna pick it anymore. Not because of the attack, but because of the damage you're gonna receive is back to 15%. Like I would accept those nerfs on the attack speed, but the nerf on the attack on the damage amplification is not needed.
I agree with you on that one actually. I mean, they make it even higher of the price, but not giving it to be worth the price right now because of this 3% actually. So all the Lightbrand, Downbringer, Searing Ride, all of this is getting no longer apply their Searing in a radius, so you will need to hit each creep. I don't like it at all, actually. Like Lightbrand was great for farming.
That was not the problem.
Yeah, it's not a problem at all. You need Lightbrand to do that so you can farm with it.
Yeah.
It's instead of getting like Cleaver on melee hero, let's say that way, or Thunderclaw. It was like another farming item that you can get for less damage, but cheaper, a lot cheaper. And in the end, going for Downbringer, which was the case most of the times, or even Grimoire, that was like super strong, and there is Grimoire. So now the debuff reduction and stun reduction state duration is reduced from 1 second to 0.6, which means they cannot like you can disable everything, but for less time. So if they stun you mid you use it, so it will disable it for less time. Okay, so Recipe cost increase by 400 gold, so it will be in the end 5.4. And no longer can be activated while perplexed or under a first order effect. So Legionnaire Taunt is not gonna able to. You won't resist Legionnaire Taunt, let's say that way. You cannot like escape it anymore as you get a Grimoire, and it was not needed from beginning. Like Legionnaire Taunt, why it should stop it, you know? And
Yeah.
Perplexed, it means like Predator jumps you, you cannot activate it. Basically, or Adrenaline. I don't see any other hero.
Perplexed is like the Hellflower. The Hellflower perplexes you. You cannot use it when you're Hellflowered. Pretty sure.
Oh, that also then?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Actually, you silence, you should not be able to do that. Also, the cooldown increased by 20%, but in the end it becomes 72 after its own cooldown reduction mechanic. This is big nerfs actually, and now applies an activation modifier state for 2 seconds, which prevents other activation modifier from being applied while active. I don't really get it. I mean, you cannot use symbol meanwhile using it for 2 seconds. That's basically it. You cannot like use both of them. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's not needed.
And now uses an activation modifier, and this cannot be active in the same time. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, yeah. I feel like the item is not dead. No way, but it's balanced right now. Maybe stronger than balanced, but we will see. But this definitely was needed, no doubt.
I agree.
So the stone can be purchased on the outpost. Fine. The iron shield, I don't really know why, but they nerfed it to 70% by 30% deflection. I mean, it's allowed as they say here, the melee agility hero to lane easier and like have this 100%. But yeah, I mean, why you like they keep like gnomes, like iron shield, like all these little items in the early game that helps you a lot. They keep like lowering down, you know, to a lower level.
Yeah. You almost see nobody picks an Astrolabe anymore.
Yeah, Astro is like not that strong anymore.
Too expensive. It's not worth the price. I don't. It's not needed. The Iron Shield debuff.
This is an interesting one for the support, let's say. So Orb of Zamos and Grave Locket now only guarantee the 25% bonus gold when a non-player controlled natural creep is killed by the sync hero. So basically, if you follow someone in the jungle, you will get only 25% of the gold, which means 2 gold with Orb of Zamos, and what, 3 gold when it's like Grave.
I don't know. I don't like it.
I mean, how support will get money? I mean, yeah, it's kind of not the point to have this easy item to get money, but at the same time, it helps people a lot. to get items and wards and stuff. Okay, Pegasus boots. Now, please teleports to LA Heroes before to another. Okay, so prioritizing, it means like if there's creeps, it will go on the hero instead of the creep. I like it. Power supply, don't like it at all. Like, period. Now it costs 200, it's like a normal battery that was before, and no longer passively grants any stats. And also the max charge is 10, and you can get it on outpost. So basically they back to battery, but call it power supply.
Ooh. Why?
This is big nerf to the item, and it's everywhere the item, and it's given like a lot of benefit from the item, but at the same time it's based on you receive because of you play the game. Like, you don't just get power supply and you're like, oh, I have 15 charges. It's not, it's with time. You need to save it sometimes to actually survive some fights and some laning phase and stuff like that. Now it will be picked, of course, but I don't know. Less, yeah. I mean, supports will less pick it. Or not, I mean, I don't know. Maybe supports will pick it as it's cheaper. I mean, I don't know. I really don't like it. I feel like they didn't need to change at all. Another change, we have a sacrificial stone, so this actually will be picked now more, as now there is a new component build up. So now per supply, as it's cheaper, overall it's be 850, but they add a recipe, so I think it's the same goal as it was, right?
I think it was 750.
750? Okay, so
Okay, I used to like have power supply for 300 and pay 5. No. It was the same. It was
the same?
850. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
they just said the recipe, so it will stay the same. But now the healing done adjusted by 5% more, which is nice, and the health restore per charge is 12. So I like it.
Definitely.
So it's like if you get power supply, you most of the time will upgrade it now. I mean, there is a reason for that. Even though it's a lot of gold, you can see it both ways. But I like this change overall. Velatrot now applies to the user even if they invulnerable, so this is basically sort of bug fix. I can, like, if you TP to the base, it will give it to you back. Basically, that was it.
Yeah, it was when you the 3-second shield of untouchable, so nobody can kill you in Thousand for 3 seconds. But you can't use any of your items too. So this Veridrot, when you insta spawn, you can insta use it.
Ah, okay. I see. That's nice. So Void is being touched for some reason. Revive cost increased a little bit, so now it's gonna be 1.7k gold. And the passive of the stats is being reduced by 1, but now while you deal damage, it's gonna be 25% less damage, which is understandable. Like Voodoo Jester ulti and goes Void. That was really strong, to be honest, but at the same time now it's higher price, and it was most for support. I mean, you can go for middle and get Void if you're against, let's say, Prisoner. So they also did they speak about it, I think, also about Prisoner in the bug fix. I will jump to it in a minute. But I feel like it's a big nerf to the item, but it will be still picked as Void is really unique.
I mean, like, you could do this nerf without touching the price. You could just like passive strength and agility intelligence bonus reduced to 5, and while Voltasm is active, you reduce 25% less damage. Without the price change. Like, you're already nerfing the item, don't change the price.
Yeah, you nerf and make the item even more higher price. So the bug fix, so there's crashes of video card. Fine. I mean, this is in midwars and stuff. You can all read it. I will give you the link, of course, in below. And where was this prisoner? There's prisoner. So prison break no longer perform as a physical effect type check every frame to determine if the chain should be broken. For like, if Void Talisman will be no longer break, the chain's ill relay, because I think there was bugs of it, like it just removes or it doesn't, because you cannot use it or you can use it and then it removes. So it's just basically it will no longer break the chains, as it says.
I see.
So it's a buff to prisoner, like if you can look at it that way. But you cannot like it won't deal you damages, it's physical.
Ah, it's good.
Yeah,
Very
it's
good.
fine. And the others, like most of it's like bugs and stuff like that. This is like what they add to the tooltip. So yeah, this is basically the patch, guys. Thank you all for watching, and thank you Patrick for being with me. Appreciate it a lot.
Been an honor, guys. And guys, I don't know where this video is gonna be posted, but me and Krakow, we are in collaboration here with the Honest organization of the stuff. So we'd really appreciate if you guys follow our channels. Krakow will put them down below, and it will be really good if you guys follow the Honest channel because they're doing their absolute best to do what they can to make tournaments, to make this game more competitive. It's like free marketing. It's really not an easy job, and appreciate everyone, guys, for being here and watching us. Last word for my friend Krakow here.
Yeah, you basically sum it really nicely. So yeah, go check us and the Twitch and stuff, and yeah, we have our Discord also. You're all welcome. As always, I want to make like community better and easier for people to find others to play with. So as you go to my Discord, you need to sort of verify yourself, but it's pretty easy. Just choose your rank. So it means who is gold will go to the gold players and ask them if they want to play, or to diamonds. Doesn't matter. Just go there and even change your name inside the Discord. So only in this area you will be as your name in game, so people will find you. So yeah, that's basically it. Appreciate all for watching and for the support, and I will see you in the next Twitch or video. Peace!